If we take a look at Disney Star Wars, we do know that there's a handful of the Star Wars community that is very upset with how the sequel trilogy was handled. Meanwhile, there's another side of the Star Wars fans that are very much satisfied with the way things went for The Rise of Skywalker and more. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie was the very beginning of Disney's new Star Wars universe by including new Star Wars lore that we have never seen before in the Star Wars franchise, such as the world of Exegol, which was brand new, the Sith Eternal, Palpatine's resurrection, and even them bringing back the idea of a Force storm that was created by Darth Sidious in the movie that was heavily inspired from the Dark Empire comic line. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that J.J. Abrams wanted to create tons of new Jedi and Sith lore in the initial cut of Episode 9, where a lot of that content was deleted by Kathleen Kennedy. However, now moving on to the new Star Wars film, this is where the magic begins to actually come into play here, because what Lucasfilm was trying to do is that they are trying to develop a brand new era of Star Wars, a brand new mythology of the Star Wars franchise, that's really going to evolve this Star Wars series into something completely new and different for the fans, where you're going to look at this as like a separate set of Star Wars movies in comparison to the prequels, the originals, and the sequels. It's really going to be quite an interesting ride to see exactly how it's going to really all come together by Disney and Lucasfilm. Now, on top of all of this, what's rather intriguing is that now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are moving on to their new Star Wars universe, as well as their new Star Wars trilogy of films for the Star Wars franchise, where they are currently focused on the first film of the new trilogy, dubbed as Star Wars X, which implies Star Wars Episode 10. Now, it's explained that one of the big plans that they have in place for Star Wars X is that they are getting ready to introduce the origin of the first Skywalker in this new Star Wars film that will be based in a brand new era, and that this will be told in the form of legends and Disney's light way of connecting it to the Skywalker saga, while at the same exact time not connecting the film to characters like Luke or Anakin. Not just that, but they are developing a plot element for the new film to explain the true origin of Yoda's species and how that will also be explored in the new Star Wars movie that is said to kickstart the Star Wars cinematic universe. It's noted that also Kevin Feige is still trying to get actors like Keanu Reeves, Leonardo DiCaprio, and even Jennifer Connelly on board for this new Star Wars film, and that this movie will introduce a brand new tier of Jedi. They are looking to giving the Jedi a facelift in this series as far as looks goes, by giving them armored designs with lightsabers for parts of the film, to show the fans that this era of the Star Wars universe will be different this time visually speaking, as well for the Jedi. Lucasfilm was coming up with a plan in order to introduce many of George Lucas's original ideas from the prequel trilogy era that will be reworked into this new Star Wars film for the fans, and that this will be their way to create an authentic Star Wars movie. Now, the film is said to also include brand new Force powers that will be on a different scale than anything seen in Star Wars Legends or canon material. So, the thing about this that's most impressive to me is the fact that they are trying to explain elements of the first Skywalker and the origin of Yoda's species, learning more about all of this in this new era of Star Wars. Now, mind you, we do know that Disney is of course trying their absolute best in order to evolve the franchise properly to the point where it's still going to feel like Star Wars, regardless of the fact that John Williams will no longer be a part of these movies, which is very sad. Because to me, John Williams makes the Star Wars movies. I don't know about you, but me, in my opinion, the music actually makes the movie. There's no doubt about it. It causes the emotions within us, the audience, once we go ahead and watch those particular scenes in a movie. So, what they have to do is they have to get a proper composer. They have been in the talks with composers like Hans Zimmer and more around the world in order to bring in a different feel for Star Wars, while at the same exact time trying to pay respect to, of course, John Williams, to actually stay true to that overall and general tone, right? So, I want to also hop on how they're restructuring the Jedi, how they're going to try to give the Jedi a different design in this new Star Wars film by making them armored Jedi, at least for a part of the movie. in order to really establish the fact that this is a brand new era of the franchise that we the fans have never seen before on the big screen. Now, Star Wars X is said to be by far the highest production Star Wars movie in history. And that main reason has all to do with the fact that they want to make this a very large-scale movie. It's going to be based off of Lord of the Rings. What I mean by that is it's going to be inspired from Lord of the Rings, is the proper way to say it here. It's going to be inspired from Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, different franchises like that. They're going to make it very large scale by mixing in Star Wars into the mix there. So you can see what they're trying to do. They're really trying to do something incredible here by also bringing on A-list actors like Keanu, Jennifer, and even Leonardo DiCaprio and others. So, like I said, guys, I would really love to hear what each and every one of you have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.